In September of 2011, Occupy Wall Street began in Zuccotti Park of New York City. Originally, the protest was against Wall Street, but it quickly became a movement for the 99%, where the idea that the majority of society is being robbed of their share of society's wealth and opportunities that the 1%, or the millionaires and billionaires of our country, have access to. The social movement meant to increase awareness of social and economical inequality in the U.S., spread across the country, and visual imagery was significant to the rhetorical argument. The progressive movement became a headline news through the activation of social media participation. Many researchers claim that social media is the primary reason for the transformation of Occupy Wall Street from a small political protest to a nationally widespread political focus. There are several notable images that I would like to show and their importance in visual imagery. I will also examine the role of social media in spreading the movement through the use of images, and then by using Sonia Foss's rhetorical schema for the evaluation of visual imagery to further explain the importance of these images in Occupy Wall Street. I will also be looking at an article by Milner, who examined the use of internet memes to Occupy Wall Street's visual imagery. Visual imagery was very important in the Occupy Wall Street movement. I will begin by showing some posters and art that was displayed during the movement. Images such as this were rapidly shared through social media sites. One of the most important images used frequently in Occupy Wall Street was the Wall Street charging bull. You can see that in the first image with the ballerina, as well as this image printed on the cover of the New Yorker. Another significant movement-themed image is the Occupy fist that represents the togetherness of the 99% of society. A third image is a depiction of the President Obama's iconic Hope campaign poster. Instead, the same artist who made the original poster placed an image of a Guy Fawkes mask over Obama's face and used the words, "Mr. President, we hope." According to the artist Shepard Fairey's website, he said, "This image represents my support for the Occupy movement, a grassroots movement spawned to stand up against corruption, imbalance of power, and the failure of our democracy to represent and help average Americans. On the other hand, as flawed as the system is, I see Obama as a potential ally of the Occupy movement, if the energy of the movement is perceived as constructive, not destructive. I still see Obama as the closest thing to a man on the inside that we have presently. Obviously, just voting is not enough. We need to use all of our tools to help us achieve our goals and ideals." The images already shown were a part of different themes that trended throughout the movement. Now all of these images and many more were transformed and circulated through social media by what Milner claims as participants discuss the social and political dimensions of the occupation through these versatile visuals. By intertwining multimodal popular commentary with text-based discourse, participants were able to creatively engage the debate. This use of social media to diffuse images through the media can be known as transmedia mobilization, in which occupiers combined extensive offline analog, poster, and print-based and low-tech forms of media production with cutting-edge technology development and use. Most importantly, Milner claims the spread of internet memes was the basis of rallying occupiers across the nation in protest. This, along with the utilization of hashtags on Twitter, subreddits on Reddit, Tumblr on Tumblr, and videos on YouTube, Occupy Wall Street spread its message, made its claims, and mobilized its support. These images that were used are what we know as internet memes, but there is a more critical definition of an internet meme that will help you to understand the significance in Occupy Wall Street. According to Schiffman, who is cited in Milner's article, Internet memes are units of popular culture that are circulated, imitated, and transformed by Internet users, creating a shared cultural experience. I will now share some examples that Milner used in his article that are centered around a policeman pepper spraying protesters. Here is the original image, and you can see all of the people taking photographs of the event. The pepper spray cop image was inserted into several fictional and historical contexts, whether it's Sesame Street, The Last Supper, Charlie Brown, or the U.S. Constitution that you can see here. The meme can be taken as representing the attack on American ideals, according to Milner. Although Milner notes that most internet memes are characteristically humorous, Schiffman argues that humor can serve as a unique key for understanding of social and cultural processes. And this in turn is a form of populist media, which is expanded through participation in public discourse. And vibrant public discourse depends on more voices having access to channels of engagement. Milner attempts to prove in his study that there can be a positive relationship between pop-savvy mediation and polyvocal populist conversation, as seen in the Occupy Wall Street movement. As you can see, visual imagery was extremely important as a function within the Occupy Wall Street movement. Under Sonia Foss's rhetorical schema for the evaluation of visual imagery, one can understand the significance of images, especially during the internet-driven era. She claims that in critiquing images, one must base a primary argument in support of the intentionalist view, because that is what distinguishes art as a human creation is precisely the presence of intentions, goals, or purposes to be achieved. Why define art as a product of human endeavor if we are not interested in what the human beings who created it were endeavoring to do? These images in the Occupy Wall Street movement, although some may be aesthetically pleasing, were created for a greater function, to affect the audience in order to promote discussion and communicate a message. In studying the movement, we can see how much this message was spread throughout the United States through social media and also globally. Please take a look at my works cited. Thank you very much for listening to my presentation.